Hi, welcome to my guide to Final Fantasy XIV's unique content called the Mass Carnival. This video will continue from my last video for the next 5 trials. Much like I mentioned in my last video, I want to show you 2 ability combos that we will be using in these fights. The first combo we will be using is the Ultra Vibration combo. First use Hydro Pull unless you only have one target to deal with. Then use a Ram's Voice to freeze them, and then Ultra Vibration to clear them out. The second combo we will be using is the Final Sting combo. This is a combo only used against enemies not resistant to physical attacks, but it is effective against those who have a lot of HP or dish out annoying mechanics you wish to skip. To do this, first start out with Off Guard on your target, use Whistle, use Tingle on your target, use Moon Flute, and then finally, Final Sting on your target. Take note that this will incapacitate you, but that won't matter if there is no living targets left on the field after this ability resolves. You will, however, receive a 10-minute debuff called Brush with Death that prevents you from using abilities like Final Sting. However, if you use this in the Mass Carnival, regardless if you finish or fail the trial, the debuff is removed after you exit. Now that we got all that covered, let's get to the fights. Our first fight for this video is number 16, Sunset Bull-evard. This fight pits you off against 2 Arena Cyclops in the first act and a Minotaur enemy named Typhon in the second act. The first act is relatively easy, just burn down each Cyclops before they reach you. You can use Reflex to slow them down further, but as long as you maintain distance, you shouldn't have an issue. To answer the question of why they shouldn't reach you, their auto attack will take you out in one hit. As for Act 2, Typhon will have short telegraphs, so you'll want to be careful on what ability he's using at any given time. 10 Taunt Slash is a conal area of effect that isn't too wide, just go to the side and you should dodge it easily. 111 Taunt Swing is a point-blank area of effect attack that will knock you back if it hits. Both hit very hard, so try to avoid these if you can. Eventually, Typhon will use Voice of Authority to summon an Arena Cyclops like you fought in Act 1. Repeat the process like you did before, but while dodging Typhon's attacks while continuing to keep distance from the Cyclops. Once that's taken care of, and once Typhon's HP is around 70%, you should be able to finish him off with the Final Sting combo. So for your spell loadout, Reflex to slow down the Cyclops, Glower, or any attack but the paralysis will help slow down Cyclops even more, and the Final Sting combo to finish off Typhon quickly. Here's how the fight looks. Next up is number 17, the Sword of Music. Compared to some of the fights you've faced, this one should be incredibly easy. The hardest part of this fight is going to be in Act 1, which are two Magitech claws named the left and right claw. Act 2 is an iron giant enemy named Kraos. Each claw has a buff called Repelling Spray and will reflect certain types of spells. Our first target will be the left claw, which reflect magic-based spells. Use Abyssal Transfixion on this target. Once that's done, the right claw reflects physical-based spells, so use Glower on this target. So for your spell loadout, you'll want both Glower and Abyssal Transfixion. Both add Paralyze to help slow down the claws as you burn them down individually. I didn't mention any strategy for Act 2, however, because all you're using for that one is the Ultra Vibration combo. Here's how the fight looks. Next up is number 18, Midsummer Night's Explosion. The first act pits you off against an arena manicore and 12 stationary fire sand cakes that will only explode when they are hit. Act 2 is the same, except you have 2 arena manicores instead of 1. As intimidating as that sounds, it's anything but. We are literally going to abuse the Ultra Vibration combo so we can avoid all the mechanics. For each act, we will use the Ultra Vibration combo on the single or set of manicores, then clear the room of kegs. Be aware that the explosion after they are hit are somewhat wide, so keep clear. If you get hit by one, it's not lethal. Before you engage in Act 2, wait for the Ultra Vibration combo to reset. This is a great time for a fast bathroom break or to grab a snack. You'll probably have around 45 to 50 seconds left to wait before you can engage. So for our spell loadout, all you need is any attack for the kegs and the Ultra Vibration combo for the manicores. This is how the fight looks. Next up is number 19, On a Clear Day You Can Smell Forever. This is a relatively straightforward 2-act fight. Both acts pit you off against a mortal enemy named Reflective Rebecca. If you have yet to learn the spell Bad Breath, you can learn it from this enemy. There are only 2 things I should note. First is that Reflective Rebecca will start the fight with Reflect, which puts up a buff that reflects any magic-based spell you cast. Otherwise, this is like fighting any normal mortal enemy. The second thing to note is in Act 2. Reflective Rebecca will summon a large number of hot hips around the edge of the arena. There is a place you can stand and look to avoid all the gaze attacks, but you have a very short window of opportunity to find the safe spot. A safe way around this is casting Inkjet on Reflective Rebecca so that you can blind yourself and completely dodge the mechanic. If you deal enough damage quick enough, you may skip this mechanic outright. So for our spell loadout, we'll need a physical-based attack, so I suggest Abyssal Transfixion. Inkjet to avoid the hot hip gaze attacks, though if your damage is good enough, this won't be necessary. And the final Sting combo will be used around 60% remaining HP to take her down quickly in Act 2. Here's how the fight looks. And our last trial for this video, number 20, Miss Typhon. This will probably be the most mechanic-heavy trial you've faced so far. You'll be facing off against Typhon in Acts 1 and 3, and Ultros in Act 2. If you have yet to learn the spells Snort or Aqua Breath, you can learn them from these enemies. So let's start with Act 1 mechanics. Again, you will be facing off against Typhon. Every now and then he will knock you back, interrupting any spell you are currently casting. He also does a large area of effect attack called Fireball, which hits pretty hard. The true terror of this act is when Typhon is about to use Snort. When you see this, stop doing everything and immediately cast Diamondback. If you fail to do this, you will be knocked back to the very edge of the arena and be pelted with 3 instant cast fireballs. Without the damage mitigation of Diamondback, this flurry of attacks is lethal. For Act 2 mechanics, you'll be facing Typhon's friend Ultros. Whenever you can, try to stand on the edge of Ultros' target ring. This will help you avoid his 2 area of effect attacks as they are moderately fast. Aqua Breath, which is a total area of effect to his front, and Megavolt, which is a point-blank area of effect on him. After a bit, he will also add a bunch of small area of effect attacks to the 2 I just mentioned. Do the best you can to avoid all of them. He will also use an ability called Imp Song. You will want to interrupt this unless you do like the idea of running around as a cute little green guy for 20 seconds. For Act 3 mechanics, you'll be facing Typhon again. Around 85% HP remaining, you will want to quickly use the final Sting combo before he has a chance to use his Snort triple Fireball combo on you. You could technically go through the fight normally, but then Ultra shows up, you have to deal with both of their mechanics at the same time, then 4 tentacles show up to ruin your day. Better yet, let me show you the chaos you'll be skipping. So now that you understand why doing that is not a good idea, there is another benefit to clearing Act 3 out quickly. You will be receiving the Octopath Traveler achievement for not killing any of the tentacles in that fight, because the tentacles never show up to be killed in the first place. Now that we've covered the mechanics, let's look at the spell loadout. You'll want any attack for Typhon, like Glower. A fire-based attack such as Mustard Bomb or Bomb Toss for Ultros, as he is weak to fire. Diamondback to avoid Typhon's Snort combo, Flying Sardine to interrupt Ultros' Imp Song, and then the final Sting combo to finish up Act 3 fast. Here's how the fight looks. With another set of fights down, the difficulty curve is starting to ramp up. So if these strategies helped you, I hope to see you in my next video. But for now, I bid you farewell, and as always, thanks for watching.